You know, most guys start their day off maybe stuck in traffic, have meetings to go to all day. Well, this is how I start my day right here. Let's go fishing.
Welcome to Halfway Across the World. This is Mozambique on Africa's East Coast. Tyler Kapela is here to take in something different. This is different.
So 2 hours ago, my friend Hannes picked us up at the Inhambane airport here in Mozambique. And here's where we are. Wow, right on the Indian Ocean. It is unbelievable. When I heard we were coming over here, I cannot tell you, I almost jumped out of my skin. So what an adventure. This is our little Mozambique boat ramp behind me here. As you can see, we're going out with Hannes and Ben today, go out the reef. We got some friends in town, we got a little friendly competition going. It's gonna be a great day. I really knew I wasn't in Florida when we launched the boat that first morning. They basically just, first of all, they launch it on the beach, which no one does in Florida. We just plow the boat, and as soon as they hit the surf, boom, the boat just launches off into the water, and it blew me away. I was like, holy. That was, never seen that before. That's what you call a Mozambique boat ramp launch right there. We are officially in the Indian Ocean. Oh my God.
I like the choppiness of the water this morning. It just gives you an air of there's something going to happen today. A wolf earring, one of the best bites at sea, but it's got quite a vicious...
Teeth just shoot out of there.
Yeah.
That's like a giant sardine, but I've never seen anything like that before.
It looks prehistoric, eh?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Something from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, man. All I wanted to do, I had one thing on my mind, and that was to catch as many fish as possible. Oh, he's coming, he's ripping! I wanted to catch the big fish, of course, but coming to a new spot, there's many species. I know this is a diverse area, so coming to an area new like this, definitely want to get as many as I can.
A nice dip one.
That's a barracuda. Barracuda.
Barracuda, yeah.
There you go. And the first fish that I caught is the only fish that I caught here in Mozambique that I've already caught before, and that's the great barracuda. We also have them in Florida. I'm thinking, man, you know, I came halfway across the earth to catch a fish that I've already caught before. But right after that, we started immediately catching new species, and one after another that I'd never seen before. Fish on, baby. He's got the blue fins. Kingfish. Oh man, look at the, holy crap, look at the colors on this thing. The colors on that are unbelievable. Just neon blues and greens and all over the place. It's called a blue spot trevally. Any fish with a forked tail like that is generally very, very fast, and that's definitely the case with this guy. They're so powerful. And they got these scoots on them. That's what these things are called on the side. Those are like a razor blade. They'll cut you. It's just like a Jack Crevalle that we have here, in, back in Florida, except the colors on this thing are unbelievable. Everything from, blue-green to neon purple, all the way there. Absolutely gorgeous fish, man. Africa is awesome. Right there, baby.
Tyler, you ain't seen nothing like You're coming up to a shallow reef where we're going to do some jigging, and you'll get all sorts of species there. Tons and tons of species on that reef.
This is awesome, dude. Oh, look at this thing. Look at the colors on that thing. Fish on. Look at that guy.
That's a three-spot.
A three-spot. Three-spot king. That's species number 4 from here in Mozambique, Africa. Huge shark! Oh my gosh! It's a giant shark. They're growing big here in Africa. Yeah. What do you call these?
A green jobfish.
A little bit different than the redfish that we've got in Florida. Now, I know what a big fish feels like. We're using these big butterfly jigs all day, just jigging and jigging and jigging, and all of a sudden, boom, you hook up and the thing immediately, I've got the drag locked on the reels, basically maxing out the tackle, and they just, kids, he got me. He made it to the bottom. That happened to me a couple times. man, what am I gonna do here? I gotta beef it up or something. You know, every single fish, I could tell they were different species. It was probably some grouper, a fish called a giant trevally, which is a huge type of jack. All of them just destroyed me.
North American Fisherman is brought to you by Peak Antifreeze, right for your car and your wallet. Peak, run true. By Trilene, anglers trust Berkeley Trilene. By Bass Pro Shops, your adventure starts here. And by Abu Garcia, for life. Up next, Tyler goes big, and the payoff is huge.
Fish on!
Come here. Come to Papa, baby. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. That is my first yellowfin tuna.
This is North American Fisherman.
Well, it's another gorgeous morning here in Mozambique. And you know what? Yesterday I learned a lot. We caught a lot of different species, but I also got my butt kicked a couple times by some giant fish. So one thing we took from yesterday is if you want to catch a big fish, you got to go big and beef up the tackle, and that's what we're doing today. Yesterday we discovered a reef out here actually as we were running, and we're going to go back to it this morning and kind of troll 3 baits at different levels. So one near the surface, one in the middle column, and one down near the bottom, and just kind of slow troll those around. And as we're doing that, we're going to use these big butterfly jigs. This is literally like, I don't know, 10 ounces or something. It's just solid lead. You just drop them down to the bottom, you just bump them as hard as you can and as fast as you can. Trying to get some monster African fish out here today. There's giant trevally, there's sailfish, there's even some marlin running around out here, and tuna. You never know what you're gonna get dropping down like that. But we're gonna cover all the bases, get the whole water column going, and see what happens. Let's get them. I come out there with a little bit bigger rod. I put on 80-pound test leader, which is the heaviest that I had, and get out to the spot, and Ben immediately put us right on him.
There we go, here we go, here we go. Action time, guys.
This isn't your typical pan fishing with a bobber and a worm out here. And instantly hook a giant fish.
Fish on!
Come here. Come to Papa, baby. Oh yeah, it's solid. It's solid. It's fighting like a tuna. Nice fish. It's definitely a very strong fish. That drag is not loose, ladies and gentlemen. Come here. Come here. Usually when they hit midway up like that, it's some kind of, you know, open water pelagic fish. It's not some little reef fish. It's just pecking at the lure. So hopefully this is a nice tuna. Whoa! I can feel the rod tip is going like this. And what that means is that fish's tail is kicking extremely fast. And from my experience, that's a tuna.
Got some shine down there.
It's a tuna, it's a yellowfin.
Yellowfin.
I called it, huh? Look at that guy. Oh my gosh.
Okay,
beautiful. That is my first yellowfin tuna. Oh man, look at that. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, man, excellent. Good job putting me on that guy. Look at this thing. That's my first yellowfin tuna, man. I've always wanted to catch one of these things. Beautiful yellowfin tuna from Mozambique on the jig. I could tell it was a type of tuna. I've only caught bonita in Florida and blackfin, but their tail kicks like 100 miles an hour. So it was going pop, 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 pop. You know, the rod tip was really going like that.
I reckon 18, 20 kilos.
So that's like, you know, 45 pounds or so. That is awesome.
Well done, Tyler.
Thank you.
Nice fish.
Yeah, thank you very much. That is a beauty. Tell you, I was feeling like a midday snack, and I love sushi, so, you know. I'll tell you, it's, you know, getting towards midday, I guess, out here. Got my first yellowfin tuna on the deck down there, and I'm a little bit hungry. I love sushi. I've always wanted to do this, so I'm gonna cut a chunk out of this guy here with my survival knife that I brought to Africa. Like, oh man, that looks amazing. Wow, look at that. The color of that meat. That is just as fresh as you can get. Look at the color of that. That is, let's see. I wish we had some soy sauce and wasabi, but that's pretty good, man. Little afternoon snack, Mozambique style. Oh my gosh. Wow, look at that. Just mama humpback and baby humpback just laying right there, man. You never know what you're gonna see here in Mozambique. That is incredible. We've been seeing humpbacks everywhere, but they're like out in the distance, you know. We've seen them come up and breach, but that's definitely the closest we've been to these humpbacks. And just, you know, to see that, it's just a natural spectacle. But all these crazy fish, man, this is such an incredible place. It's unbelievable.
Jackie.
After that yellowfin tuna, you know, we pulled in all sorts of fish. We got reef fish, we got pelagic fish, which are the open water ones. And I'm having a great time, but this is crazy. He is running for the reef on the Revo, on the smallmouth bass rod that we brought to Africa with us.
Nice.
Rainbow runner, that's another first. Now, you know, everybody was kind of skeptical bringing some little bass tackle to Africa, but this is what we brought it for. This fish right here is called a rainbow runner. It's a type of jack. It absolutely smoked that little Revo down there. But what a fighter. I mean, that's a beautiful, beautiful fish with that nice blue line down the side and the yellow. If you come here for no other reason, you want to come here for the boat landing with Ben. First of all, it made my heart jump out of my chest because we are running into the beach. I figured, you know, they'd back the trailer down like we normally do in Florida, ride it up onto the beach. But no, he got close to the beach, floored the throttle, and woo, right up onto the beach. Now that is how you close the day in Mozambique.
Coming up next, a fight that tests the gear as well as the fisherman.
Big fish. What is that? I don't know, it looked good though.
When North American Fisherman returns.
The country of Mozambique has been through a civil war. They had a 20-year war basically, but that's all over now. It's completely safe. This is such a gem. If you're into adventure, this is where you want to come, right here. Big fish. Oh. Oh, you gotta horse these fish so much to get them off the wreck. Oh, it's on the top. What is that? I don't know, it looked good though. It's a good size. I mean, this thing, you can't just pull on these internationals with a small fish. It pulls a little bit of drag there on the hookup. No, it's a big kuta. Keep misidentifying this thing.
And it's
a big,
four times.
4 times. We thought it was a big tuna at first, it's the way it looked. No, then it was a cobia, but it's a big king mackerel. They call them kuta here. Oh, look at him.
He's double hook.
Oh, now the one hook came out. Hey, we got him.
No,
we get him. Oh, careful. We got him. Yeah, man. That's excellent. Look at that guy. That's a big, big kuta, huh? Mozambique, baby, at its finest. That's what you come here halfway across the world for. High five there, man.
Slimy 5.
Excellent, slimy 5. That is what's
Well
up
done,
right there.
well done.
Trophy-sized kuta, better known as the kingfish in the United States. Woo!
It's quite difficult to get into for men, but once you're here, it's not the jewel of Africa, it's the diamond of Mozambique.
We're so far removed from basically any kind of civilization, and we had, you know, of course we had running water and all the amenities and just wonderful dinners every night. You know, each time after dinner, Hannes and I would sit down and Ben and just have a cold drink and look through the Fish of Southern Africa book and just identify, because I'll tell you what, the biodiversity here is unmatched. Like it rivals the Keys. I'd say it's even more than the Keys. Jacques Cousteau, in fact, the famous naturalist, said that this is the most biodiverse region on Earth that he had ever seen back in the 60s and 70s. And I can see why he said that. It's unbelievable.
Rev the boat motor, and this moves the fish and moves them into the net. We have one biologist on board, and then there's a commercial fisherman and a deckhand. Part of our job is to make sure we don't have a threat to Lake Michigan.
Normally, loud noises like this will drive tens of thousands of pounds of fish a day into a commercial fisherman's net. But there aren't many fish in this part of the canal. So when they do catch one, they're happy it's not a species that isn't supposed to be here. The canal is part of the Chicago area waterway. It's the only link between the carp-infested Mississippi River Basin and Lake Michigan. That's why a multi-million-dollar electric barrier was created along this route, keeping the carp from swimming into Lake Michigan and ultimately the entire Great Lakes system. But it was in the spring of 2010, a big head carp was caught beyond the barrier here in Lake Calumet, dangerously close to Lake Michigan. So the Illinois DNR continually samples the water beyond the electric barrier, looking for evidence of Asian carp. And they regularly find it in the form of environmental DNA.
Lake Calumet sample once a month. There's been numerous positive eDNA samples that have come back.
But discovering eDNA in the water doesn't necessarily mean the presence of live Asian carp.
These samples here are actually silver carp DNA that's present in the water samples. And what this suggests is that DNA can potentially pass through a bird.
John Amberg is a research fish biologist at a unique invasive species research laboratory, the Upper Midwest Environmental Sciences Center in La Crosse, Wisconsin.
We have a long track record of positive work with invasive species.
The center hopes that its intensive research will someday allow eDNA to be used to accurately detect areas where aquatic invaders are migrating, a technique that's never been used before.
If we're actually successful, it could completely change the way that invasive species is managed.
In the meantime, the center is faced with an intriguing mystery. Is there a population of Asian carp that have infiltrated the multi-million-dollar electric barrier? Or is the eDNA they're finding in the Chicago Canal and Lake Calumet coming from bird droppings after eating carp for a meal? They hope to find the answers using the most sophisticated forensic science techniques.
What we're trying to do is ultimately make this tool as powerful of a tool as it can possibly be.
It's literally CSI on water, in the never-ending battle with the silent invaders. North American Fisherman is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Quebec, providing emotions since 1534. Berkeley Gulf, alive, looks alive, feels alive, tastes alive. And by the North American Fishing Club. Still ahead, the battle that keeps you in knots. Fan favorite Knot Wars continues when North American Fisherman returns.
Welcome to Knot Wars, where we pit two fishing knots head-to-head in a competition of strength. Now, we're in the midst of a great line-to-line battle. And this year on Knot Wars, it's personal. Because not only are we pitting the fishing knots against one another in competition, we're also setting up battles between the anglers who selected those knots. Now, we've asked the staff and hosts at North American Fisherman to tell us some of the line-to-line knots that they really like using. And this year, as always, we're using Berkeley line for all of our knots. We're using a 14-pound Trilene XT, a 15-pound Trilene 100% fluorocarbon, and a 14-pound Fireline. Let's get started. Last week's winner was the Uni to Uni, selected by one of our hosts, Tyler Kapela. This week's challenger, also selected by another one of our hosts, Eric Hadia, is his own version of the Albright. So let's get you started by showing you how to tie each of these knots. First, the Uni to Uni. Overlap the ends of the leader material and main line about 6 inches. Take the tag end of the main line and bring it toward the middle to form a loop. Then using the same tag end, make 6 to 8 turns through the loop and tighten by pulling on the tag end. Repeat steps 2 and 3 with the end of the leader material, and after moistening, pull the standing lines in opposite directions to slide the knots together. There's the Uni to Uni. Now let's show you how to tie Eric's version of the Albright. Run the tag end of the main line through a loop created in the leader material. Then wrap the main line around the leader material 8 times. Run the tag end of the main line back through the doubled loop twice. Then moisten and tighten by pulling on both lines. So there's Eric's version of the Albright knot. Now, we used 8 wraps for this particular test, but remember, in any of these knots, you may want to use more or less wraps depending upon the weight of the line that you're using. So, the competition is about to begin. Let's go check it out. Here we are at the Berkeley Knot Wars machine. We've got our Challenger, Eric's version of the Albright here on the right, and on the left, the Uni to Uni. Let's see which one of these knots is the strongest. Whoa! Eric's version of the Albright knot did not win. It just wasn't the right version to beat the Uni to Uni. Though a great knot and it tested well, it just couldn't hold up ultimately against Tyler's knot, which means his knot moves on to next week to face the Challenger, the J knot. And that knot was selected by our executive producer, Brad Hadsel. If you want to learn more about any of these knots, just head on over to our website, or better yet, download the Knot Wars app on your smartphone. Knot Wars, because no good fish story ends with a broken knot.
The following products have been field tested and approved by members of the North American Fishing Club. Style and performance combine in the Shakespeare Agility spinning reel to create an excellent value. The Agility reel contains a 4+1 bearing system for a smooth retrieve. World Cup Sunglasses Polarized Plus 2 technology cuts out 100% of UV rays and 99.9% of glare. This increases depth perception and definition, even underwater. To find out how you can become a field tester or have your products tested, visit fishingclub.com.